Welcome everyone. Today I'm at Cisco office. Cisco office is really an amazing place to work. They have very nice meeting room, very space, and I'm sure that all the employees are very happy about it because Cisco have been rated the best workplace this year and last year in Singapore, the best workplace to work for. So it's really an amazing team and a collaboration platform for partners, for employees, for customers to come here and collaborate. And we're going to talk about hybrid work, and that's why today I'm on site, but I have some of my colleagues and team that are sitting remote, and I think that's what we are all doing at the moment. So just starting by how the behavior have changed during the past 2 years because of the pandemic, basically, that driven this change of habits of behavior. Before, you need to go to your doctor, you need to go to your dentist, you have to plan, you need to make sure that either you have to go near your office, or if you are going near to your place, you have to take half-day leave for all of that. And I think now the behavior of working have totally changed. You arrange your time, you arrange your week to either work remotely, to go to the office, and you're more flexible, you use the collaboration tools to work from anywhere, from any time. The hours of work are a bit more blurred, but then you can take some time off to run your errand during the days, as long as your job is being done and your manager is happy, of course. Before you organize a meeting with all your participants, you book a meeting room, like we have here, just a meeting space. That's the only thing you need to worry. But now you have to book rooms that are equipped for video conferencing, because you do not know this day whether your team will be sitting with you in the office inside the meeting room or remotely, and likely it's going to be both. You're going to have the team here in the office with you, the other half remotely. So now every time you're organizing a meeting, not only you have to book your meeting room, but you have to organize a virtual meeting space as well. Before, you arrange a video meeting in advance because people are not so comfortable to do video meeting, or they don't use it so often, especially internally between colleagues. It's more tools that were used for external to collaborate with partner or clients, especially overseas. And often you needed the help for the IT to even set up the meeting. Now people are very used to all the video solution around there. They can organize, they don't need any IT assistance, the tools are easy. So this is great. And finally, before it was also very common to start a meeting, want to launch the video, then we realized that we don't know how the system works, the cable, we are not sure how to plug the cable or anything. IT have to step in to start the meeting, creating a lot of difficulty. And nowadays we are able to detect, like we did today, that there was a problem actually, and that the meeting is not happening like it should be happening. So for IT and facility team, there is a lot of changes also. The big burden on them before was really to maintain those video conferencing architecture that was very complex, a lot of like servers, a lot of hardware. Then you need to upgrade the computer of the users, and then you have to continue this cycle every 2 years, every 3 years, every 5 years, depending on your company policy to stay up to date. But now we are relying on cloud technology. You don't need any hardware infrastructure anymore, and the users can update their own application almost in real time as the updates are being released, giving them access to new features, new solutions. The team previously relies a lot on vendors to create, manage, delete users, doing some basic changes sometimes in the application because they don't have the knowledge to manage those servers, those applications that can be quite troublesome. But now everything is becoming very easy. With simple interface, whether you are an IT admin or even a user, you are able to perform all the tasks that you need for your usage. So as a user, simple user, I can even add my colleagues or more users on the platform without any IT knowledge. It's becoming very simple with the application. And finally, before, the team have limited data. And today we have a lot of data, and data is important. Data is important because office space is becoming very expensive, especially in Singapore. So you want to make sure that your meeting room are used properly. You want to know who are the colleagues that are actually booking and using the meeting room, and maybe who are the colleagues that are booking assets like meeting room and not using them. And all those data can be available through a single platform. When you have information on safe distancing, humidity of the room, usage of the video conferencing system, if the video meeting went well or if some participant faced any issues, and this is a great power. So now I would like to walk you through what Cisco have done with their office and how this office is empowering their employee. And I'm going to pass it to Joshua.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Cisco Singapore office. I am Joshua, and together with me here I have my colleague Karen. We want to bring you on a live walkthrough of the various Webex devices and how it fits into space. As we first enter the Cisco Singapore office, we are greeted by our first device, which is a Webex Desk Pro. Over here, the Webex Desk Pro is being utilized as a virtual receptionist. The receptionist here at Cisco can be present at work or even be working remotely from home. She can still help us to check in and print our passes once we scan our temperature and scan our Trace Together app. Hi, Juliana. Joshua here, Cisco employee. I'll take my temperature now and also do my Trace Together check-in. Okay, done? Okay, good. We are good to go. Okay, let's move on. Now, as you can see in the Cisco office, we have many video devices, such as the Webex Bot over here. When not used to join things, we can use it as a digital signage, right? So digital signage can be enabled via web space, app space in Control Hub. Once you enable, you can use all these devices to display your corporate messaging or even just play a video like this. For the next part of the tour, let's head into the CXC room where I will show you more of those devices. Follow me. Now, the key message that we are trying to deliver today is not only does all these devices help us to work from anywhere, it also enables us to join any meeting platform, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, or even Google Meet. We can join any of these meetings via a simple one button to push. Okay, as we enter the CXC room, remember the Webex Desk Pro that we show you via a virtual receptionist? It is also perfect for home office use. I believe many of us in the past few years has been investing more on home office devices to make our remote work more comfortable, right? I believe this should be your next investment for your home office, the Webex Desk and also the Webex Desk Pro. Why? Because it's an all-in-one collaboration device, and even when it's not used to join any meeting, you can simply use it as a secondary monitor. Right here, as you can see, we have scheduled meetings on other platforms, right, on this Webex Desk. So you can simply see that we can join. There's a green join button here, and we just need to click it to join any of these third-party platform meetings. For today's demonstration, I will be joining the Zoom meeting. So I will click on the join button over here. Okay, it's calling into the Zoom meeting, and done. We have joined the Zoom meeting. Okay, now for Zoom, it's a special case whereby we need to key in the passcode. I will key in my 6-digit passcode, followed by the pound sign.
If you are the meeting host,
okay, and also my host ID. And now I am already in the Zoom meeting. Okay, let's move on. So as you can see, we do not need to reboot the device every time we join a third-party meeting. You can join one Zoom meeting in the beginning and then simply pivot to join a Microsoft Teams right after that. Moving on, we can also connect to the Webex Desk using a single USB-C cable. Once we connect the USB-C cable to our laptop, we are basically enabling USB pass-through. Okay? What this enables us is that we can join any meeting platform using our laptop, right? As you can see, it's mirroring my laptop now. So you can use your laptop to join any meeting platform and utilize the camera and the microphone and the speakers of this Webex Desk in the meeting. And you can also enable touch pass-through, which allows you to basically control the screen here. So I can click to join the Zoom meeting again. You can simply use the Webex Desk as a secondary monitor. Right here, I can use the Webex Desk to basically view any YouTube videos or even just surf the internet. Now, in the office environment, the Webex Desk is also perfect device for the executive office or even harder spaces. Once you have a Webex Desk in your office, your employees and your executives can have much better meeting experience. Now, without further ado, let's move on to our next device, which is the Webex Bot Pro. So it's a 75-inch, and here are the different features that we have enhanced from the previous version. We have now two 4K cameras, right? What two 4K cameras allows us is we can now do best overview and also speaker tracking. For this demonstration, let's make it full screen. Now I'm going to demo speaker track. Speaker tracking enables you to track the active speaker in a meeting. For now, I am speaking, hence the camera is focused on me. Okay. Now I will pass on to my cameraman to say a few words, and let's see if the Bot Pro is able to refocus the camera to him.
Everyone, this is Chris here. Hello. Are you guys seeing me? It's a while. Way to actually detect me, probably because of my mask. So I'll pass it back to Joshua now to take back the stage. See you guys.
Thank you, Chris. And as you can see, it does take a while sometimes to refocus, but it does do the job. And when no one is speaking in the meeting, it will give you the best overview of your meeting room participants. So let's go back to our list of features that we have enhanced. Secondly, the speaker is now front facing. What this gives us is it will give us better sound acoustic throughout the entire room. So to give you a very good meeting experience. And thirdly, we have the USB-C pass-through cable as well. Once you plug the USB-C cable into your laptop, you are enabling USB-C pass-through, meaning you can use your laptop, join any meeting platform, and simply utilize the 4K cameras, the powerful speakers over here, and also the touch screen over here in your meeting. So you can do whiteboarding in your meeting as well. Next, we also have two stylus now, right? What this enables us is for two persons to co-create at the same time. We even can have a game of tic-tac-toe simultaneously. Next, we have also optional screen addition. If your meeting room is very big and you need for a secondary screen, we have a secondary monitor output over there. And we also have two additional microphone inputs, specifically useful for very large meeting rooms, whereby you need to place a couple of mics all over throughout the meeting room. And next, we also have an option to add a Room Navigator. I will not cover too much on Room Navigator because my colleague Karen will be demoing the Room Navigator to live later. Okay? And I like the next feature. You are able to have an option to add views, right? This allows you to move the Bot Pro from one meeting room to another. Last but not least, the Bot Pro comes with very superior noise cancellation, allow you to have a disturbance-free meeting always. This time, I will pass on to Karen to have the second part of the walkthrough.
Thanks, Joshua. Right. Hi, everyone. My name is Karen. Together with me, I've got Dylan here holding onto the camera. So first up, like what Joshua mentioned, we do have room navigators situated around the office, and I'll show you how they are being used in the office. So first up here, you can see that there is one over here. So it looks like a control panel with an additional light strip down here. And then there's a table mount version, a table version that we place in the meeting room. So this is a bookable meeting room. So when you walk past like a room like this, you can immediately see if a room is being booked or not. So here it's a red strip, so it means that it's booked. So you can see details of the meeting here. There's a Microsoft Teams meeting here. It's from 9 to 1:30 p.m. and organized by me. So let's just hit right in. So right here, you can see that we are in a meeting room right now, and then there is a table version of the Room Navigator on the table here. So it functions slightly differently, even though the form factor is the same. So there are two modes, so the wall mode and then also the table mode. So table mode is mainly for like in-room controls. So if you've got IoT lights or any systems that you want to connect to, you can actually use this to create buttons on the screen to potentially you can say, I want to book a Grab or book some taxi over here. So that's one. So the interesting thing I'd like to point out is right over here. So you can see that we do have a Microsoft Teams meeting happening right now. And you can see a Microsoft Teams icon right here. And there is a join, one-click join button to push. So let me walk you through what's happening here. So with Cisco endpoints, we want to embody this term open platform. So open platform means to say we allow our meeting devices to join any platforms if they allow us to join. So one such example we want to show you is the Microsoft Teams meeting. So there are actually two ways to join a Microsoft Teams meeting. So the first one is very simple. This is the Webrtc version. So I can just click the one button to join here, or I can use my voice. So let me show you. Okay, Webex, join the meeting. Joining the meeting. So even though I'm joining a Microsoft Teams meeting, we are still able to leverage on the intelligence of the Webex device. So I'm using my voice to join a meeting, and you can see on the screen, it is a Microsoft Teams experience. So this method of joining is called the Webrtc, which is our laptop browser experience. So whatever you get from a laptop, you will see on the screen here. So what this also means is if you have got a larger meeting space, you have got more screens, it will only show up on one screen, so the other screen will be black. So how can we actually capitalize on the investment that you have if you've got multiple screens and you want a better user experience? So you can see it's still loading, and it's a Microsoft Teams experience. So just give me 1 second. Let me just accept and join the meeting right now, so you can see. So just give me 1 second. Yeah, so you can see that it shows that when the meeting starts, we'll let the people know you're waiting. So you'll wait for the host to actually allow the device in. So it's somewhat like a participant joining the meeting. So I'm just gonna allow the device into the room. And then you can see here that it's gonna allow the device to join. Yep, so it loads a while, and you can see that there are 2 users currently in the room. So we have Nicholas here, who's joining us from KL, and then we have the host. So I'm just going to leave this meeting for a moment, and I'll show you joining through the second method, which is the CVI method. So I'm going to leave. So if you can see on my laptop right here, this is the meeting invite that you will get. So with the Webrtc, you get this information here, but with CVI, you get additional join information. So with CVI, you can actually walk into any of the meeting spaces, any of the devices here, and just go to the screen. Let me just end call for a moment. And then I could just go to call cumulus.m.webex.com, put the call, and then he asked me for the conference ID 118, 285-4177 and the pound sign.
Thank you for joining. We'll let the people in the meeting know that you're here.
And then you see the experience is different. So you get utilized on multiple screens if you have and things like that. So this is Microsoft Join. So let me bring you around to the employee only area. So let me just leave the meeting. Yeah, so follow me. So actually, the area that you're in right now is actually the customer partner area. So you can see all these rooms are bookable, but what's going to be different inside the employee area is that you can see that there are a lot of non-bookable rooms and open spaces. So let me just bring you in. As you walk through, you'll see that all our quiet spaces, all these have endpoints inside, and you can see our employees actually using them. So even before this COVID period, us at Cisco, we already have the concept of having virtual meetings with people from different parts of the world. Yeah. So you can see huddle spaces, quiet rooms where people can just walk in and join a meeting. You can see some of them here doing their work right now. So I'm just going to bring you to the hot desking area. Yeah. So right over here. So question. So Joshua has talked about all the endpoints, all the personal devices like the Desk Pro and the desk. So what about if you already have investments in screens for hot desking area? So how can you actually improve the user experience? So one such example is right over here. So you can see that we do have a hot desking setup here. So let me just walk you through what you're seeing right here. So on the screen, you can see that a desk is available. So end users can just walk up, sit down, plug in, and just book the spot for their daily work. So let me just break down what you're seeing here. So if you're familiar with our room kits, so you know there's a camera, there's a codec, and a speaker, there's a microphone. So you can think of it as the same. So you have the camera here, you have the codec here, and then you have the speaker here, and all connected to the codec here. So camera, screen is all connected to this device, which we call the Desk Hub, and then there'll be one cable out here for your laptop. So if a user like me wants to come up to start working here, I could just take my laptop and then connect it to the USB-C cable here. Just click connect here. And you can see immediately it becomes a secondary screen. Yeah. So you can see that I can start working, I can start doing my work with two screens. And then if there's any like other video conferencing platform that I want, I can actually also use the camera, the speakers, the microphone, all from my laptop. So another question, what if your user didn't bring a laptop? So they just walk up, they want to join a meeting. That is also possible. Let me disconnect. If you see right over here, there is the call and the join Webex. So if you remember the Room Navigator, it looks slightly similar. So I can just click call and call whoever I want in the directory. So it functions as a standalone collaboration endpoint as well. And the cool thing is, you can see here, desk available. So users can actually, at the start of the day, just walk into the office, click on sign-on options. They can choose to place their phone here on the charging pad and choose to book this spot for maybe 2-3 hours. They could also log in using the cable, and then it will detect the Webex app. And then from there, they will know the identity of the user and then bring up the calendar of this particular user. So if they've got meetings scheduled for the rest of the day, it will also appear here, and then you have the green button to join. So it's as simple as that. So let me show you another one of our latest devices right over here. So Joshua has talked about the Webex Bot Pro, the Desk, and the Desk Pro. So what we have here is the Desk Mini, which is like their youngest sibling. So in terms of the functionality, it's almost exactly the same as the Desk Pro and the Desk, just that in terms of the hardware capability is slightly different. So you can see that the screen is slightly smaller. It's built upon a full range mono speaker. So if I bring a laptop here, and then I open it up, you can see that it doesn't really cover the screen. So you can also use it as your secondary monitor as well. It has a USB-C cable to connect and does the same thing, which is to share your screen and also use the resources here. So bring your own device is possible. And it's also an all-in-one collaboration device. And it's very light, actually. It's very simple to set up. So let me just show you. At the back, there is a carrying handle here. And this is a fanless setup, so it's very quiet. So if you want to set up this device in somewhere like a phone booth or like any event hall that you have and you need some conferencing solution, this is something that you can consider. And it's so light and portable that I can literally just unplug this and I'll bring it around the office. And since we're at it, let me just show you more of our office space. Yeah. So hope everyone's doing fine during this COVID period. We can see that many of our employees are running back to the office, but at the same time, they are still doing virtual calls and joining some. So here is the huddle space. If you can see on your right, there are many open spaces like these where we have endpoints situated around and users can actually come in for a small birthday celebration before COVID or even like open space team meetings. So as you walk through, you can see a lot more hot desking areas and also a really nice view. And then maybe one of the questions that some people might ask is like, are there any fixed meeting rooms for our senior executives? So the answer is no, because everyone would just need to use our hot desking area and also book a room if they need to. Now, this is like the nicest part of our office. You can see a nice stairs downstairs, connecting the two pantries from the one downstairs and also the pantry up here. So I can just walk up here, place the desk mini here, and use the power plug to plug in, start it up, connect to Wi-Fi or Ethernet, and I'm done. It's as simple as that. So that's all with what I'm going to be sharing about to you today. If you're interested to find out more, just feel free to come over. We'll bring you around. Right, back to you.
Hi everyone. I think you have actually had a walkthrough of all the Webex devices that we have in Cisco Office, and of course you can own it as well. And today I'm actually joining this session in Kuala Lumpur, right at my home. And how do you manage all these devices? I'm going to demo some of this Control Hub capability that you can actually manage all these devices that Karen and Joshua had just shown it to you. Right, so now that you're actually seeing my screen, this is the, we call it a single pane of glass, the Webex Control Hub, where you can actually manage the users. Of course, all your organization users who has Webex account or do not have a Webex account, you can manage them through this Control Hub. But today I'm going to focus mainly on the workspaces, what you can do within the Control Hub itself. So over here, this is the overview page. If I go into the web workspaces, the first thing I want to show to you is that the list of devices that you are seeing here, right? So I'm going to show to you the device that I have just now, which I used to join the Microsoft Teams meeting. Remember that Karen hosted? This is the device that I used to join the meeting, right? The Avengers Shield that I'm actually named that. So this RoomKit Mini that is actually at the back of my here, and it's actually paired with the Navigator. Right, you can actually know that it's actually paired through a network. The Navigator is connected to the RoomKit Mini, and you can actually see that the utilization metrics and the real-time metrics. Of course, here there's not much information. I will deep dive into that. So from here, you notice that this device is actually idle at this moment because I already ended the call, and you can up to, I mean, this is you actually define, right? How many occupants can actually join this room? If this device is actually in the meeting room, you define that this device is going to be used by probably up to 3% or 5%. Otherwise, then this room will actually prompt a notification saying that this room has the full capacity. You might want to move another room for SOP purposes, right? So in this case, I actually put it to occupant. And then if you look at the real-time utilization metric, which is very important for your facility teams, that's to manage all these devices across your organization, whether it's at their home or even at their office, right? So in this case, this device is actually at at my home, right? So the IT can actually manage this device even though I'm actually at home holding this device, a RoomKit Mini or a Desk Pro that you've seen it just now. So I'll go into the real-time utilization metrics, what is actually showing you over here. So we have the built-in sensors, we call it IoT sensors that built into the Navigator or the room device, right? The room device, as you know, that we already have the camera. The camera will actually detect your presence and it will actually do a people count using that camera. So from there, you will know that with the insight, you know average occupancy of that room itself. So of course, this is the room that I'm actually using. So most of the time, maybe up to 2%, or maybe sometime when the kids is coming into my room, then you probably see 3 or 4% that is in the room, right? But this gives you a more insight when you are actually putting it in all your meetings room, right? With the meetings room, you can actually look at the occupancy, average, maximum, and the capacity. What gives you, this data will give you to actually better decide whether you want to actually increase more devices such as the RoomKit Mini, which is catered for small club, or you want to have a higher capacity meeting room such as RoomKit Plus that we have to cater for more participants. And you roughly know, right? If it's most of the time this room is actually being occupied like 7-8 people from here, then you roughly know that this room having the RoomKit Mini may not be sufficient because it's just meant for a small harder space, right? So these are the sensors that are already built in. Presence sensor, you can enable it, occupancy sensor, right? And then of course the time metrics that is being used, right? You know that how long this device is being used, whether it's fully maximize your investment on the device, because you know that this device is actually being used most of the time. Or some devices, maybe you put it in the corner where nobody actually booked the room, and know that throughout the time you know that there's nobody actually booking this room, and you might want to relocate the device to other places that more people commonly actually use that room. For instance, like Karen showed you at the pantry, you might not know that people don't want to actually join a meeting at the pantry, right? So you might want to put more Desk Mini over there for people to join meeting, right? And then of course you have the environment metrics, right? From here you notice that sound, reverberations, temperature, humidity, and air quality, and this gives you more insight of that room itself. For instance, right here you can see that the sound is actually average ambient noise is actually good, right? You can see that red is good, of course, amber and the red is actually poor. So over time you can see that this room sound metrics is quite of good, right? You can actually hover to here and look at the description of each of this item, right? And this gives you an idea for an IT that booking a room or managing those rooms, you can actually manage it remotely. So today, if one VIP asking you to book a room for me, I have an executive meeting, but you're actually working from home. How the IT gonna do this, right? So from this dashboard itself, you can go in and check the room condition, whether it is optimum for hosting an executive meeting, right? Because you know that the temperature, whether the aircon is functioning. Sometimes it is not a centralized aircon. Maybe there's an aircon that you can actually on off, especially after office hour, right? So centralized aircon may not work. So you want to know the average temperature or the current temperature of the room. So this will give you information about that. And of course, the humidity and the air quality, whether the room is optimum as well. So over time, you will all this information will allow you to deep dive into all these details, right? And we have API allow you to actually export this data, right? If you have your own dashboard to manage it, right? So you can actually correlate this data with the meetings that has been booked in your calendar. For instance, you have floors of meetings room, multiple floors that hosting meeting. So you can actually correlate these meetings that is being organized by anybody, right, with the occupancy and the usage of this room, right? Also, you can actually monitor the air quality. This is very useful, especially in ASEAN country. You know that sometimes you do have haze and such, right? You want to make sure that air quality in the room is okay, right, to actually conduct a meeting, right? So I'll give you that overview of the workspaces that you can manage through our devices with the built-in sensors that we already have. In most of our devices already have all these IoT sensors. And then the next one I'm going to jump onto is basically the reportings, right? So there are a lot of reports, canned reports that's already there, right? If you are using a Webex meeting, in this case, you can actually generate the canned reports over here, meeting active hosts, meeting audio usage and such, right? But more importantly is where you actually use it to join a Microsoft Teams meeting. At the bottom, we have this At the bottom, we have this VMIT license report or usage report, right? This is where is the Microsoft Team meeting, right? You can actually use our device to join Microsoft Team meeting, but over time, you want to actually manage this or monitor this. You can actually generate a report on the usage, how much time that's actually used for this device to join a Microsoft Team meeting. Another thing that I want to actually highlight is the Alert Center. So I'll quickly jump on to the other Control Hub because I have full access to this Control Hub. On the Alert Center, you can actually create alerts, right? Manage, for instance, I have created alerts over here where sometimes you want to actually monitor some of this meeting, right? If you're organizing a meeting where the VVIP is actually attending, you can put all this email address of the VVIP. So every time when they join any meeting, right, if the latency of the packet loss, the network that they are joining detected that's actually higher than the 800 millisecond packet loss and jitter over here, or even for the video and hardware, if it's the hardware is actually 90%, if they are using a laptop joining it, it will actually send a notification or send an email to the administrator. So with this, it's more like a proactive management, right, rather than a reactive. So the IT will get informed prior to anything that VVIP is complaining that he had a bad meeting just now. But now that you actually know beforehand that this meeting actually had a bad meeting for the VIP, you want to actually deep dive into what is happening over there. So these are the insights that you can actually derive from the whole Control Hub itself. And of course, coming back to the devices and the workspaces, in fact, if it's not just the devices, in fact, the headset that Kaan showed it to you that you dock on the Desk Hub, including the desk camera that he showed to you. I'm not sure whether this Control Hub has it. Let me see. So you can see that this desk camera is also able to be detected, right? So especially a USB camera, it might actually pretty hard to actually manage all this asset in the organization. If you deployed it for your employee and allow them to bring it home, you can also manage this device remotely. So most of these are actually offline. So if I go to this Control Hub, let me see, desk camera. So you can see that this is the desk hub, desk camera that is actually linked up to, right? I can look at this desk camera, open space. So you know that this desk camera is actually online, right? You know that this information is actually paired with that desk hub that Kaan showed it to you. So not just the Webex devices, even the USB device will be able to actually manage through the Control as well. And the headset, right? With this physical headset, you can actually manage those devices from here as well. Especially you actually assign those devices to your employee and bring it at home, and you want to manage all this asset, right? So I'll give you a sneak peek of what Control Hub can do. In fact, there are more than that, but at least you have a glance of what is capable to do from the Control perspective for workspaces and devices. I'll hand it back over to Jonathan.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Karen, for walking us through the Cisco office. You guys really have a great environment. So 2022, we all hope is really the year where we can come back more often to the office, meet face-to-face with colleagues that we haven't seen sometimes for months. We all know that doing video conferencing meeting also every day can be very tiring. And having a chance to mix the physical meeting and the video meeting, I think is really what everybody is looking forward in the future. I don't think that people will come back full-time, 5 days a week in the office. Now everybody is expecting for some facility, being able to work from the office, work from home, and company have to bring that kind of environment. Company have to help with like good quality of solution, whether it's technology, whether it's hardware, to enable this collaboration. And this is because we are all running for the same things. We all want the best talent in the market. So to retain talents, the solution that you're going to provide to them, the technology, the tools to work properly, will be very important in the future. So all of us have to rethink how our office needs to be organized. How are we going to be able to cope with all the solutions out there? How our investment can be valued when we need to sometimes use our clients, our partner platform to meet when we are doing Microsoft Teams. How I'm going to do with my Cisco equipment. And that's what we wanted to present today. That Cisco is open as an ecosystem. and allow you to collaborate with anyone on any platform. Also, what you could see at the end through Nicolas' presentation is that Cisco offers a lot of benefits in terms of managing the assets, receiving alerts, being able to identify what is going wrong in a meeting, and being able to help assist your users to fix their issue. It's very painful to go through a video meeting and then realizing that the video quality is bad, the person has to stop their video, the sounds, the microphone is not good, so it's very tiring to listen, you hear a lot of background noise. All of these are things that Cisco is thinking about to make this meeting experience a lot better and easier to collaborate and to have less fatigue. Thank you very much for joining us today. I really hope to see you more face-to-face this year, but also through those collaboration tools. I wish you a great day. Thank you, Cisco. Thank you to all our customers. Bye-bye.